Are you ready to talk about codes?
Absolutely.
All right, let me get down from here. I'll be right back with you guys. The car that has started it all, man, love-hate relationship is putting it mildly to start with this car. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, I am Senate Steve, and today we're doing kind of like a quick rundown update video of the Corvette. So as you can tell here, I did tear it down pretty far. I tore it down this way and this far because I wanted to actually see if the person did the tub in the back correctly, which we'll make our way back there. So I tore it down. I wanted to see what all is needed, what all is necessary for me to purchase to make this thing up to, I don't want to say perfect, but up to, you know, like the F350 here and like the Jeep build to complete and very nice. I want to be able to actually like have a nice presentable car for, you know, the channel, for the growth. I like this thing. I actually love this thing. As a kid, it was always like the car that I wanted. We've got it. It's been sitting here. It is rough. Quick little rundown on the car if you don't know. I ended up buying this car originally when I was a car dealer. I ended up selling it to Street Speed 717. I bought it back. The next day I wrecked it. The story really goes on from there. So then I had nitrous in it. I twin turboed it. I broke a bunch of parts, got frustrated with it. This car has been apart a million times, ended up selling it off. And then I had an Avalanche. If you guys don't know, I ended up trading the Avalanche for this car back, and now here we are. So one of the first things that you guys do notice is I sold the cam out of the engine. The engine is out because I found out that I needed a torque tube. So Andy DFR gave us a torque tube that we're going to discuss later. We're going to get that all tossed in here. I did end up putting a new cam in here, so we are going to put the biggest cam possible in this thing. So this is actually going to be a Texas Speed cam, PRC heads. This thing is going to be a straight ripper. It's going to sound amazing, it's going to look amazing, and I can't wait to actually get this thing finished. So without further ado, let's just do a quick little rundown. So the front end basically just needs rebolted. I am going to end up having to buy a new headlight. I did break my headlight somehow, some way, but it is what it is. So we need a headlight. Running back here to the back of the car, the basically the fuel door release wasn't actually working, so I tore the fender and everything off, and come to find out that they didn't actually put it back together properly. So there's a mechanism that goes in here. The whole mechanism's actually missing, so we're gonna have to get that. Secondly, the halo up here is actually still broken from when I had the car originally, so we're gonna have to actually get a new halo for it. The hatch, it looks like, I don't know if you can replace the glass, but it looks like somebody just replaced the glass in the hatch. I'll get to that side in a minute. So we're gonna have to get a new hatch, new halo, and then the back half of this thing should be ready to rock and roll. The other thing is, if you guys did remember this car, I did end up running it over. So somebody did actually take the time to properly put a new tub in it. If you guys remember, this whole thing was actually smashed down to about here, because obviously I ran it over with my Suburban that I had at the time. So that's actually a good thing. Somebody did take the time to put a tub in it, and they actually did a pretty good job. The other thing is they put black interior in here, as you can see by the seats, you can tell by the carpet. So then it runs us over here to our parts list. I had no idea that a lot of these parts were actually in here, but I'm glad that today I actually tore into it and figured it out. So wipers, we're gonna put wiper blades back in this thing. As you do know, it was turbo, so I had kind of the cowl cut out and everything, but we got a new cowl panel down here. I'm gonna have to get wiper arms, I believe. That's the only thing I don't have. I gotta put that on the list. We got a Veraram intake, black carpet pieces, the bumper. I'm actually missing one of the marker lights here, so we're gonna have to get a marker light for it. And I've honest to God been thinking about doing another wide body rear quarters for this. I'm kind of in the air about it. I kind of really did like that look. I kind of actually love the look, but I don't know. I kind of want this thing to be just nice, sleek, and actually finished. So coming back over here to the hatch situation, this is actually broken right here. I don't know how this got damaged or why it got damaged, but nonetheless, it's damaged. So we're gonna have to get a new hatch. I'm just gonna replace the whole thing, be done with it, because when I get this thing ready for paint, I want this thing to be nice. I want it to be perfect. Other thing, moving down here to the rocker. So the rocker actually is still broken. You can still see the dirt and everything from when I originally wrecked this thing. Rockers are super hard to get on and off of these things. I don't know if they make an aftermarket one. At one point, I did look into it. I don't think I could find it in the time that I needed, so I ended up just kind of making this look as presentable as possible. But now it's to the point where I want to make this car nice and, you know, actually close to perfect. So it is what it is. Moving up front, the front end is basically all here, just needs bolted on and tightened back up. Are you ready to talk about codes?
Absolutely.
All right, let me get down from here. I'll be right back with you guys. I think I can actually have somebody fix this. Like, it's not actually missing any sections. Like, the entire piece is actually still there. I think it just needs like plastic welded, or, you know, I think we can fix this bumper with ease. I think it'll be easy. So if you guys know any good body shops, let me know in the comment section down below. Let's get this thing freaking looking killer. Also, I'm probably going to use my same paint guy because I absolutely love the way he painted this before. He did a phenomenal job. So we'll go over here to the list real quick. Some of the things that I need on the list is going to be O2 sensors. I don't know why. I think when I sold the turbo kit, I included them in the turbo kit. I think they were in the turbo manifolds maybe, and I just kind of let them go with the car. So there's no O2 sensors. We're gonna have to get them. Power steering hose. This thing actually didn't have power steering there for a while. So hopefully when I get it back together, the rack isn't destroyed, which I did probably put about 3,000 miles on it without power steering fluid. So hopefully the rack's not damaged. Hopefully the power steering pump is actually good, but we'll be good to there and actually have power steering. Timing cover gasket set. I don't know why gasket is before set, but I got to get a front and a rear one for it so that we're good to go. I don't want to half-ass this. I don't want to put it back together and have any leaks or any issues. I just want this thing to be done and done once and done properly the first time. So we're going to replace like the rear main seal, oil pan gasket. I'm actually going to get a C6 oil pan for this thing too, because the way it sits, this has a batwing oil pan. Kind of makes it a pain in the butt to work on and to do some things. So I want to put a C6 oil pan back in it, which I'm going to order later today, and we're going to really button this thing up. Next thing, pilot bearing. Obviously I know I need a pilot bearing because I think that is originally what destroyed the output shaft on the transmission, input shaft, whatever you want to call it. I think that's what actually destroyed the torque tube. So we got to get a pilot bearing along with the torque tube. License plate lights were actually broken. The fuel door release we already talked about. Rear corner light, marker light we talked about. The halo we talked about. Upper trunk section, back over it. So the rear upper section, I don't think I'm going to replace. Originally I did think about replacing it, but the only damage is literally right here. It will be covered by it. It's actually not terrible. Like, structurally it's still there. So I don't think I'm actually going to replace this like I originally thought with the halo. So we'll probably just leave that one to go. I'll probably cross that off the list at a later date. I know I said I wanted to make it perfect, but again, we're going to get this thing super close to being perfect with, you know, with the base and the start that we're at. Spark plug wires, as you can tell here, I got mix and match spark plug wires on here. I think it's because I needed 90s when we did the turbo kit. You can see there, that's like a 80-degree angle or whatever. So we're going to get one entire set so that the spark plug wires and everything are good to go. And again, I just want to make this thing as nice and drivable as possible. At the end of the day, that's what I want this thing to be. When I purchased it, that's what I wanted it to be. That's what I want this thing to be this time around. It has to be a nice driver, has to sound good, still perform, and still be, you know, a mid to high 10-second car. That's the goal for it. Let's just start there and see what happens. So there is your C5 rundown. Oh yeah, the possible rockers. That's if I can find them, if I cannot. But let me know in the comment section down below if you guys actually want me to do the wide body rear quarters. I could do it. I don't have to do it. I'm kind of half one way, half another. And then the other thing is color. What color should we paint this thing? We did orange. You guys obviously know my color scheme is black and orange. So do we go back orange? Do we go silver again so that we can sell it? Do we just do a regular random color? Let me know in the comment section down below, but that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Also, I guess wheels too. I think I'm just going to stick with a set of C6 wheels on it for now. And again, just make this thing a driver. But that's going to wrap up the video. Hope you guys, as always, stay... I don't know what I was going to say there. But that is going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. Again, a bunch of people were asking me what was going on with the Corvette. This is kind of your rundown with it, and I just want you guys to know that we are planning to make everything nice. You can tell we've got the yard pretty well cleaned up, except for the parts that I just took out today, which a lot of these parts I will end up putting in the house, and then the rear quarters I'll end up putting back on for now, because I wanted to check wiring and everything too. That's why I had it off. I wanted to make sure we had proper lights back there. I think the license plate lights weren't working and the marker lights, but I found out it was just bulbs. So we're good to go. Put all that stuff back on. I wanted to also double check to make sure the tub and everything was good, but I'm excited, guys. I cannot wait to get this thing done, and I hope you guys are too. So hopefully, I'm aiming to have this thing on the dyno this weekend, guys. So that's the plan. That's the goal. Again, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, so I started to actually make a list here. I kind of got to cross that out. A friend was over and wrote something super inappropriate. But it will be covered by the bumper, so I'm not really sure that I'm going to replace it just for this little section that's damaged here. So we might end up just letting that go, chalking it up as it is what it is. My neighbor's dogs are barking, so I got to cut that section out. So let's go back over it. So the rear upper